Well, I thought we got out of the scrimmage exactly what I wanted to get out of it, and that is nobody got hurt. And we'll live to fight another day. But this time of the year, you're always going to have some good, some bad, some things you have to clean up. But I thought for the most part, by and large, without watching the film, our guys were really in tune to trying to be who we are every single day in practice on both ends of the floor. And that's what I told you at the media day the other day. And that is just simply, I just want us to be ourselves. And I didn't think anybody went out of themselves. I didn't think we took bad shots for the most part. I thought we took care of the ball for the most part. I think defensively we have to be a little bit louder than we were today. Good defensive teams are connected. It's October, 21st. There's a lot of growth that needs to take place, and I thought today was a good first step.
Can I ask you a question? If you could raise a hand, we'll get a microphone to you.
When you said louder, did you mean communicate defensively?
Correct. I think when you're in the right position, when you're giving your teammate confidence who's maybe on a really good scorer, on a good player, they've got to know that they have help defense behind them. They have to know that there's somebody in what we call a gap. Being able to keep the ball in front of us and make the defense take challenge shots, I think is job one for our team. And I thought, although White hit some shots in the first half, I didn't think that their offense necessarily created or generated those shots so much as they just made a shot one-on-one. And they're going to have some nights like that in this league. So our ability to maybe climb up into the ball handler and that shooter a little bit more on the catch, but have the confidence that our teammates are in the right position behind us is important as we move forward.
What did you see from Malik today and your other post players as well?
It's interesting. I think Malik can be a better practice player based on what I saw today. And he told on himself a little bit. Because we're going to need him to be better than he was as a freshman. He's got the ability to stretch the defense, but I don't want him to be just a pick and pop five. You find those guys anywhere. He's got to be able to affect things at the rim on both ends of the floor. He missed a couple bunnies around the basket. I thought it was a pretty good day overall, and again, that's without watching film.
Coach, Vijay King, concerted effort that you put him on the low block to make him start to use his post presence. Are you going to do that this year? He stayed on the perimeter quite a bit last year, but you misdirection, overloaded one side, dropped it down swing. Is that something we'll be able to see during the year?
I'd like to use Vijay's size, depending on the matchup. I think it's probably difficult last year because you had Ray and Honest in there. Wanted to find out a whole lot of space, but we're operating with a smaller team, and we need to be able to creatively find ways to get the ball closer to the basket, not just rely on our true fives. So it was good to see. He got an and one. He was battling for an offensive rebound, which I don't think he got many of those a year ago. We want him to be physical and not play pretty all the time.
Coach CC seemed to perform pretty well, be pretty efficient, shooting the ball and 5 rebounds, 4 assists. Thoughts on how he directed things out there?
I thought he had a really good presence on the floor. I thought he ran his team. I thought both teams got tired, but when he was out there, I thought he tried to make the right play. There was a little bit of confusion at times on some of the slip ball screens that were being set or not set. And I think that allowed him to play downhill, get in the lane, and he made the right play. He's strong. He's not the tallest guy in the world, but he uses his body in creative ways, and he found a couple guys as well. So I thought CC, again, without watching the film, tried to run his team pretty effectively.
In the back.
Chris, is there, you guys have been practicing now for a while, but when the lights came on and there was people in the stands, is there anybody that played different, maybe better than what they've shown?
I wouldn't say different, but I thought Malik, again, going back to him, I thought he told on himself a little bit. He's got to be more effective in practice and better. Because he was one of our better players, one of our most improved players over the summer. And I didn't think through the first 2 weeks of practice that he was sort of as effective as he was over the summer. Today I thought he was a lot more assertive. bit more aggressive, and so that's going to be who he needs to be starting on Monday in practice.
Okay.
How do you use Dwayne's kind of variety of little things that he does? He can help in a lot of different areas. How do you use him in your system?
Well, he's a winner. I mean, he's going to be on the floor. You know, he's not elite at any one thing, but no matter what you ask him to do, he'll work his best to get it done. He seems to come up with loose balls. He seems to, not worry about size, quickness. So, our system, hell, I think you can find anybody's system, and they can make room for Dwayne. And he's just a yes sir, I'll do whatever you ask type of player, and those are fun to coach.
You talked about Jordan being urgent at media day. Jordan talked about you talking about him being urgent at media day. He had 11 rebounds today, 18 points. Can you tell us what you thought about that, and what do you think Jordan's going to mean to the team this year?
Well, he can mean a whole lot. He has to be effective on both ends of the floor. He's a much better offensive player right now than he is a defensive player. So the urgency is really felt on the defensive end of being in stance, being in the right place at the right time, using his voice, using his IQ on the defensive end to communicate, again, be in the right place at the right time. On offense, I used the word Jordan being casual. Everybody sees how explosive he is, and he is. He's an extremely explosive scorer. But he's also, for the first 8 minutes of our scrimmage, had 3 turnovers. And those 3 turnovers were because he was casual. And that's what I want him to be, an elite player. I don't want him to be pretty good because he's already pretty good whether I was up here or not. So him being locked in every possession, him catching him triple threat, not putting the ball over his head, not being soft with his decision making, all those things will keep his turnovers down and his efficiency up, and that's what our aim is with Jordan.
In the back, Kent, then Tim, then Gary.
Coach, Vijay hasn't been a consistent shooter throughout his time here. Is he improved there? Is what you saw today, is that what you've seen from him in practice?
Well, I'm not going to spread one game results over the entire season, but Vijay is one of the hardest workers we have. I think he's put a lot of time in, both on his game, certainly in his body. And I thought today he played extremely aggressive. And, he's got to be able, good players, they're not looking to the coach for confidence. That's sort of internal. But at the same time, I can put him in positions where he can really gain that confidence and know that his coach believes in him. And, the harder you work, a lot of times the harder it is to surrender. And I don't think anybody's going to outwork Vijay King, to be quite honest.
At this stage, how set are your rotations and your starting lineup? And what competition do you see for whatever variables it may be?
It's still wide open. Certainly there have been players, Tim, that have played well and have been a little bit more consistent than others. But I'm going to let the last week and a half, 2 weeks of practice leading up to all these different games give guys opportunities to prove who they are every single day. And so some teams, some coaches want to put their first team against maybe their second team or their first team against the walk-ons and the scout team. And we don't do it that way. Every day, we're mixing teams. And, iron sharpens iron. You don't bring it, somebody else is better than you that day, you'll get exposed. And I just think that's the way to really have competitive practices. And it really, quite honestly, to me, it doesn't matter who starts. We've had starters before that have played 30 minutes a game, and we've had substitutes play 30 minutes a game, and starters play 15. So, being productive, being an everyday guy, and we still have a little bit more time before things start to get crystallized.
Defensively, what was the main thing you were looking for in terms of maybe their understanding of your system?
Getting teams settled in the half court, taking care of the ball, so it's really difficult to defend 3-on-1s and 2-on-1s, and then doing a great job of getting set defensively, so the other team has to operate in 5-on-5 situations. We gave up some transition baskets today, and we'll watch on film and see what the reason was. But that's what we want to hopefully gain here throughout the preseason, putting teams in the half court, being rock solid, letting them take contested twos, tough twos, not giving up any second shots.